Following up at 6, 3 minutes based on Ghana time. We are really, really quiet on time. We're too much on time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the best rapper in Africa in the building, the king himself, the landlord himself in the house. King Sark, welcome.
What up, family? Wagwan.
Charlie, everything nice?
All is well, brother. All is well.
It's good. It's good to have you in this seat, finally.
Yes. Have we ever done an interview, myself and you?
No, I don't think
it's the first time.
Yeah. I've been waiting for this for about 8 years. No, because everybody that knows me for a long time has been saying that you've waited for this for a very long time.
It's an honor. It's an honor.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
And like I'm saying, it's been a while, but then today is 13th February. I mean, tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so it's only right that I start off with a question that leans to that side. Your love story is one that we all know, with Tracy. So
yes.
I would love to know, how does your love story go? Because tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
The ins and out of how we spend our love.
Yeah.
I think we've known ourselves for a very long time, so it's not too much of trying to impress, but definitely showing genuine feelings. And of course, you spice it up with a little bit of gifts here and there.
Yeah.
But we can do a drive vows and it still feels like it doesn't feel different.
It doesn't feel
but
different.
Definitely, if I have something to do, I'm not going to spill it out here on YFM for her to hear. So, yeah, but it's all good. Whether we do something or not, it's gang.
Yeah. But what is the most profound thing, or the one thing that you remember about how the whole relationship or the vibe started that probably will stay with you for a very long time?
I think one thing that stands out, if I have to speak on how I see my wife, is basically how she supported my career. I think probably one of my biggest fans, the biggest Sark Nation rep in the beginning, before the whole Sark Nation that you saw. So she created my MySpace, she did the Facebook, a whole lot. So that's like something that stands out. That made me feel like that's a life partner.
Wait, she created your Facebook account?
Yes. And he was controlling that in the beginning, so whoever was sending the DM, that was her.
Some heavy error for some people on that side.
So if you write something, if you email, you come show me, say, your man say,
Yeah.
So that stands out, and I think genuinely, if you know that somebody cares for you, you just feel that, and that has been, the vibe from that time till now.
That's amazing to hear from you. I mean, with all the success and everything, I just hope it makes things better. I mean, I'm only asking this because I feel like as a beacon, when people realize how someone like you is even navigating yours, then it makes it easier for them to feel like, oh, mine is not the way I thought it was. If Sark is like this, then it's okay. So that's what I'm asking. But definitely, congrats on all the success.
Thank you.
There's been a lot that's come your way. How do you deal with it? Because I feel like you get to a point where you don't get excited anymore.
As in the wins?
Yeah. Do you ever get to that point where it feels like, oh, BET, Best International Flow, a song with Bob Marley, like, it's like...
Yeah, if it's a step further, yes, it's exciting. But if it's like the same thing, yes, I appreciate everything, every little thing that comes. But as human, if you win or do something that you think you've done before, like having a hit in Ghana, it doesn't feel the same way a couple years back.
Right.
It's like I thank God that I can still have a hit, but it's not like I'm having sleepless nights waiting to hear it on the radio type of feeling. But not taking it normal, but it's just a different era in how you approach certain wins. But if it's a step further, which always will move you and go like, you never thought you could go that far, after this. But yeah, those moments definitely still gets to me.
But right now, would you say there's something that's like a step further for you? Is that something
the Bob Marley record. I mean, you mean after that?
After that, yeah.
I think my thought process now is not really about what the music has to still go worldwide. We still need worldwide dominance. It's not just being known in certain places. You would want to like dominate certain areas. But I think personally, I've been saying this a lot, but because I'm working on that, and that's the space I'm in, I would want to do something to help the industry itself and not just Sarkodie.
Right.
So that would be my next high, that I would feel like I actually did something to really, really give back to the industry in general.
I like that. Giving back, that's dope. So I planned something for you.
Okay.
Where I know definitely we have to talk about jams. But before we talk about jams, there's a reason why jams feels the way it feels, because it comes of experience and history and what you've accumulated over the years.
Yes.
So we're going to start from the first album. From your very first album. I just want to know the space you were in at every point. Because for me, I can easily look at Rapaholic and Sarkodie and feel like that was the era Sark was always wearing suits. Yeah, and then I'll think of highs like, oh, that's when we were really into jackets. And then No Pressure is when like you did the whole cigar.
Okay.
You understand? To me,
to that.
yeah. So then for you, when you start with Mache, what do you remember? What kind of vibe? What state of mind were you in?
So my show was me trying to prove a point after being underground for a very long time. I think I'm one of the few artists who was known but was still not out. I never had a single. But then when I go to shows, people knew me in the streets, but I just had to cement that whole hustle with having a professional studio album. So it was more of trying to prove a point after this long tag that has been on me as an underground artist, still rapping on freestyles and then always doing covers of beats. So my chair was like, you're about to enter into the profession itself. So that was that era where, you know, when I met Jay, so I think that whole project was done within a week or two. So it was that hunger. I remember that, yes, that hunger to prove a point and have a big record on the radio. And thank God we had Baby, you know, you had Push, Layaway, Bogger. Yes.
There are a lot of bangers. I think, did you ever perform at I think there was this event called WAPI or something?
Yes, I was
University of Ghana.
Yeah.
So you see, I always think that no, that wasn't Sarkodie, because I remember you performing, and when I think back to it, I was like, that's probably
no, that was. I think at that point, almost every show that was happening, I would find a way to be on there, you know, because I was trying to be heard. So I went to Addis Ababa College. My mom had no idea I was there. We went to Akwetia, everywhere in Ghana. You know, we went to Abomosu. That's like,
wow,
you know, very far. We're going to Kwewu, all these places. So we try to do the groundwork
right
before you see what you're seeing now.
Okay. So let's come to Rapaholic.
Rapaholic was.
I feel like it should be extra special because that's where you picked the name for your event. Yeah.
So yes, Rapaholic definitely was me trying to prove it's always proving a point. So proving a point after, okay, now you're out.
Yeah.
I think my check got us the first 5 awards, right? If I'm right. And then there was that saying that after Ghana Music Awards, after being the artist of the year, most artists, when you go down memory lane, they don't have that relevance after that.
Yeah.
So that pressure is what pushed me to do Rapaholic and also prove a point. Rapaholic had You Go Kill Me. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So You Go Kill Me, there was some silence after Mache. And after winning the 5 awards, it was like, yeah, Trey, they'll beat me, you know. Let's show us you can come back. So at that time, no matter what you do, it's like, oh, it's not like this, it's not like that. Then I had You Go Kill Me that came out of nowhere to bring Sarkodie back in the limelight and becoming like a worldwide banger. Yeah. So yes, it was again me trying to show that I can still come back and do it.
Now, this is off the thing, but I'm sure you had a lot of people saying that back in the day, you used to rap like a little nasally, like, yeah. And then I realized there was a switch. I think this, maybe people haven't spoken about it enough. What did you do to make that switch? Because now you're very refined, but even in the build-up, there was that switch.
Yeah, so when you're starting, I think every artist is trying to find themselves. Normally, most artists will go through that phase not on camera. So by the time they come out, they are themselves already.
Yeah.
My growth was being televised by even the media, the fans, social media. So that's why you were able to witness that era. So that means the real Sarkodie is what you're hearing now. This is what I was supposed to be.
Right.
Then when I started, I was influenced by Okonfo Kwade. I had a little bit of Brafo, Obo.
Right.
Obo's flow. I had the same thing in me. So just trying to find myself. So it was a bit confusing. You are young and you wanted to sound old, so now you want to put on an accent, you want to have a deep voice. So that was me trying to find myself. Then I realized, because I wasn't too comfortable when I rap and don't put up an accent or a tone.
Yeah.
So I got comfortable with my speaking voice. Then I had to like rap like that. Then it became the Sarkodie that it doesn't sound like anybody else, but it sounds like me. So it's just transition, trying to find myself till now.
But so when you're doing this, was it like the help of a voice coach or anything like that?
Nah, I think I'm kind of like good with feeling my instincts on what to do at certain points. I trust how I feel. I feel like, okay, it's about time. It's like, it's still taking me ages to fully want to sing, but I can sing because I write most of my choruses, but I don't have the nerve to leave my voice singing.
Yeah.
So until I'm comfortable with that, then maybe I might.
There's something I want to know about that, but we'll come to that. And now let's talk about Sarkodie. Sarkodie had 30 songs.
Yes. Sarkodie.
First off, why?
Yeah, it was just an error. I think I was recording too much. Yes, I was recording too much, and I just felt like I knew myself. If I heard that music, it would never come out. Like till now, I have like.
Yeah, I see Sark Nation always going.
Yeah, I swear, like I have from that time till now, I still have almost like. Oh God, I don't want to exaggerate, but
yeah, I really want to know the number.
But I can get close to like 800.
800 songs.
Yes. Unreleased. Some with one verse, no chorus. Some with chorus. Some full songs. Yeah. So at that time, it was just me recording a bunch of songs, and I just had to like, put them out there. Because I record a lot. Now my pace is a bit slow down. But yes, it was just me having a bunch of songs. That era was just me trying to put something out. It wasn't too based on anything. So, and it's not too far from Rapaholic. It kind of like has the same type of feel.
Yeah. Right. So Mache, Charlie, I wait at the time reach. Mache, I'm here. Rapaholic is. I can show you that I can be here.
It's not a one hit wonder.
Psychology is still in the zone. Let me just throw it out there. Then that's when you went to Mary, which was like very unexpected for a lot of people.
Yes.
What was your state of mind at that time you did Mary?
Definitely was inspired by my grandma. That she always wanted me to do, because with the Bugga Push, all these records, she loved them because the people loved it, but she wouldn't listen to it because it's hip-hop. And she grew up on live music, and she used to worry me about it, but then I knew it was just some long talk she's talking about, going to find people to come and play guitar and this and that, while I can go to the studio and have Fruity Loops and just play some hip-hop and go. So I never did it till she passed, and then I was like, I should have done it while she was here, but I think it's still worth it that I can do a whole project based on how she wanted to hear her music.
Right.
So that's why, and her name is Mary, so that was the title of the album. And also inspired at that point by Akwaboah. And shouts to YFM, that's where I heard Akwaboah for the first time.
Oh, right.
I Do Love You. You guys used to play it every morning. I think that was Flexi, right? Flexi.
Yeah.
Yes, Flexi. 24/7. I got hooked on the record. I was like, who is this? So I think I met him, and then I just said it right to his face. I want my next phase of my career in your hands, and I want you to give me a project. So I think the next few days started sending me. I think the first record was End Up Falling, and that created a whole body of work. And I had some songs always on my mind, and Mary itself. Right. So the story to Mary, which I don't know if I've said it before, but it's exclusive. Mary and Baby is the same song. Right?
Mary and Baby.
The thing she did do me.
Okay.
The verse is so don't see. So if you send out two records, you can put it on the same melody. But then I split it into two. So Mary has been this long from Baby. But I kept it there. Then I recorded it.
This is complete news to me. I never realized that. That's really dope. That's really dope. So now before we go to the next one that's highest, when you're doing Married, were you a little worried that, okay, as a rapper, like people will start to, because when you see rappers sing, people always then question them, why you cry, you be rapper? So like, do you ever were you worried around that time?
One thing you don't want to do as a creative person, the moment you start thinking, then stop doing it. So every project you've seen me drop or do, there was no thought. I didn't have to, is this going to be accepted? That thought is not even part of the process.
Yeah.
I'm just doing what I feel like at that point. I'm doing songs that I like. Anytime that I'm about to write a verse and I'm thinking about how to please, then it creeps into the creative process. Right. So I normally don't do that. And so later when I do it, I'm like, hey, man, don't hope I say a rapper is singing, and then see what you're saying now. Yeah. Now it scares me now if I think about it. But when I was doing it, I didn't have these type of thoughts, because it's art, and that's how I felt. And so if you go back to the albums that you mentioned, from Mache, Rapaholic, Sarkodie, all had hip hop dominating it, and I got fatigued by the sound.
Right.
So that is what needed that break. so that I can miss it again. So that's what I do. So I will have to miss hip hop, or else if I play like another hip hop project after Sarkodie, trust me, I will not be able to record. I will not be inspired. So this gave me something fresh, something challenging.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of factors. That's one of my, I think probably everybody will agree that's my best project, Mary. Yeah, kind of like the masses will agree
but
to
the people
that.
that are big rap fans will always
That's
feel like,
different.
that's
But we're talking music
Music,
in a whole. Mary stands out because a lot of work went into it, and it stands the test of time. And I've listened to these legends I came to meet, and this is one thing I found: the sound that they use. That is why Kodentri, Daddy Lumba, Amachi, they don't have to always record new songs for you to book them for a show, because the music always feels like the first time you heard it. And then that type of sound is what I was looking for the project. So I didn't really think too much. I just let it flow, and then I had that project.
And I think that there was a time where I made sure I wouldn't listen to the album. This feels like a confession, but I tried not to listen because of the vibe. You get hooked, and then you can't skip. Me, I'm the type of person that I want to listen to what I like.
Okay.
So if I'm listening to jams, I know I like Shebag.
Okay.
I know I like countryside. I like this. So even though they all have a rhythm, I want to skip. Mary, you can't, because it feels like a performance. It feels like a live band performance of back to back. So I think it was really well made. And we went to Highest. I feel like Highest is stuck. It's become like who you are now. When you were making the project, did you feel it was going to have this much influence, and why the name Highest?
With expectations, I try not to do that. That's also one thing I don't do. Trying to have expectations on, this one is going to do this. I don't do that. So I just make the music, and that's it. So Highest came in when I had my first child. That's Titi. And then to me, that was the highest moment in my life.
Right.
You can't compare that to any.
So it wasn't even to describe you.
So it's two ways, because I had people calling me that already. I just had to I
thought it was because of the album. It was before the album?
Before the album. There were people in Tema who
Okay.
used to call me that. Because that's a slang in Tema.
Okay.
We use Highest.
Right.
Just for anybody who's in that position.
Yeah, boss Highest.
Boss, exactly. Highest.
Yeah.
So then they used to call me that. Then I named the project that, but then it was the highest moment at the same time. That's why the album cover had my daughter on it. Yes, it was just, to me, that's the biggest highlight in my life, having kids. It goes beyond just winning awards.
Right.
Yeah.
And on that project, you have this song that people end up sleeping on some of these songs. And I know, like you just said, you don't do a project thinking like, it's supposed to, blah blah blah. But how do you feel like a song like Light It Up? It's my favorite song on the project. You won't hear anybody playing it unless maybe it's a Sark fan somewhere jamming to it. How does that make you feel?
It's kind of like expected, as much as that's not what you're thinking, but you know that there are certain sounds where you're coming from. It's going to be hard for that to be a dominant sound.
Right.
A Light It Up type of record, you can't give me an example of that, which is can be counted as one of the biggest songs in Ghana, right? Because that's just what it is. The people's ears, you can't force them. What they like is a bit different. So I know that. So when I do those records, I know people who love Sarkodie. That's the target. I don't really worry about it being, because I know you will listen to it. If I'm a rapaholic and I'm playing it, everybody will sing from word to word. So I know that's a target, and that's why I do it. Because what I try to always do with Sarkodie, which is something I can share to artists coming, that you have your base and what they listen to, so you need to keep that. And also you can cheat by just tapping into other people's sounds, so that anybody who listens to this type of records can also know that you're existing. Because if I stick to the Light It Up sound, I'll miss out on our moms. It would never get to them. The music will never get to them. But maybe a Mary will be the reason why your mom is like, who's that Sarkodie guy? So I don't stay there much. I come back and then I feed Sark Nation, then I go back.
These are gems for the upcoming ones, Charlie, to learn how to balance. Now you came to Black Love. I always think of Black Love as Black Star Square.
The concept.
Yeah. How difficult was it to get that? And also, like you said, you don't plan these things, but for Black Love, did you think that, okay, when I'm dropping this project, I want to do a concert like this?
No, the concert was not in the plan. But then the project was inspired by, I think that era was the invasion of Afrobeat sound, like hard. It was really cutting through the worldwide dominance.
Yeah.
I think that was the same time that Beyonce did the record with Our Stars Here.
The Lion King project. Yeah.
It's around the same time.
Yeah.
There was a whole lot happening around Afrobeat. So I felt like it's only right that I did a full Afrobeat sounding type of album. So that was inspiration. And I just literally felt like doing those type of songs. That basically. But then the concert came after.
The concert
Big
came
shouts
after.
to Jonathan Spear, part of the team, who came up with that idea. Let's do that. So I loved it. I like outside the box type of idea. So I was like,
because if I go back to watch Black Love, let me put it this way rather. Watching you at Global Citizen, because Mike Smith and myself were I was the hype MC, was the DJ. So when you were performing, I saw Black Love. I saw that kind of energy, and I'd seen you perform like a million times. I don't think that there's any performance like Global Citizen unless I'm comparing to Black Love.
Yes.
Yeah, so I saw that feel, and I think it's pretty dope that we get to see different sides. Yeah, every time. Now I don't know if you dropped Alpha before or after Black Love.
Alpha before Black Love.
It confused me.
Alpha was an EP to just warm us up into Black Love.
Okay.
So
Right.
Alpha was just like, I think five tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like, because for me it's very similar to No Pressure for me.
Yeah.
It's like when you're back into your hip hop back again. Now,
so that means where did we move to Black Love? The last album was what? Mary?
Yeah, highest than Black Love.
Yes.
Yeah. So Alpha came between.
In between highest.
In between that. So let's talk about the whole, because someone can easily say, now Sarkodie they make money. Sarkodie they feel body. So right now suits and rollies and cigars. Is that literally how you felt? Is that really like how you're feeling with this phase of your life when it comes to No Pressure? Yeah.
Yes, kind of. My affiliation, my circle, the type of people you meet, the conversations you're having. You don't notice that it's creeping into your writing, but that's what happens normally.
Right.
If I'm writing, I have never been able to try to fake a scenario before. Yeah, some you get like Boga Boga. I did it when I hadn't traveled. Right?
I heard that.
but it was because at that very moment I had a lot of people coming from outside to tell me the truth about outside. So then I got inspired. And then so it has to be in the moment, something has to be happening. So if I'm not inspired and then you're forcing me to say something, it's hard for me to do. So No Pressure, I kind of felt like that's why you listen to it and you don't second guess it. You kind of like also connect to it because that's how I'm feeling at the point. So yes, it's not all from word to word my lifestyle. Of course, you exaggerate when you're rapping, but the mood of the music is your state of mind.
Right. And I love it. So let's come to jams. It feels like a very long way getting to jams. You know, that shows how much you have accomplished, how much you've done. I know as much from everything you've been saying about the project that it was influenced a lot by you being at Skybar, hearing some of my piano, you know, making it sound like a project. Now it's been about 4 months since it dropped. How has the feedback been from your side?
I love it. I think it's been incredible, and the fact that I have like a bunch of videos yet to drop, and already the people have really supported the project. I can only imagine when I have these videos dropped and then I can wrap up on the album. I think this album has a lot of songs with potential that I can't even try to release anything else until I'm done with it. So there are still singles I'm about to like focus on. A song like She Bad, as you said, to me that's a very huge record that we can just treat it as a song on the project. So all the records will be taken one by one. So far, I think Labadi and Countryside is like the 2 records standing out, and Better Days.
Better Days as well.
Yes. So the rest I'm about to like focus on one by one.
So we're getting videos for all?
Almost, yeah. But so far I think we have like 3 or 4 sitting already. We're shooting some too.
Oh, so you have already like 3 or 4 shots already?
I shot like 3 videos when we shot Labadi.
Okay.
But then it was not the songs that I want them to follow. Because I have like
the order you want.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. But definitely we know Countryside is coming up. We've seen the pictures and all that. We're going to take a quick break. If you're listening to us, we're live on Facebook Y1079, and we're here with Kinsak. If you have questions, I'd have to like see some of them because I know I can't ask all of them, but I'll try and ask the ones that are important. Right here, 02022222073. Send them through right here, and I'll ask it on your behalf. It's YFM, baby.
Yay! Fido Asisemo, my people. Fido transformed them app.
The new Fido app is pink and much more. Yes, your loans got quicker, simpler, and friendlier.
And your loans in Kwan, ya add the Fido score. Ya de Puma Winya Bessia Cassia, and the Insihu Kakra Bipe, Antifa Android phone. Now installing Fido app every Google Play Store. Sisia.
And now dial *711*999#.
Channel Sofa Comfortos. Fido any agent bia. Untieska ansia malbesia. Ekwena befaso enya loan. And say ube download the app no ewo Google Play Store. Fido. Fido. Endless opportunities.
It's that time of the year again to stay and feel healthy with the Happy FM Lakeside Marina Family Fun Run and Walk. 13 years of celebrating Ghana's Independence Day by promoting regular exercise, healthy living, and bonding among families. Join us on Monday on the 6th of March 2023 for a healthy run and walk with your families, friends, and colleagues at the Lakeside Marina Park, 6 p.m. prompt. Support a charitable cause by joining the Happy FM Lakeside Marina Family Fun Run and Walk as funds generated from the run are donated to the Mercy Social Center. The run is taking place across 4 cities, Accra, Kumasi, Takrade, and Tamale simultaneously. Registration for individuals is 60 Ghana cedis. Registration for family of 2 adults and 3 children, 180 Ghana cedis. 300 Ghana cedis for a school team of 5 people and 10% discount for virtual club members. Note, the best school team wins 5,000 Ghana cedis airtime on Happy FM, ETV, and YFM, amongst many other consolation prizes. Pick up your forms at the front desk of Silver Star Tower, Happy FM, and GMA. For further inquiries and sponsorship, call 0208-565-397 or 0206-784-956.
Celebrate Black History Month with us on YFM. Tune in to our various shows and join the Black History Month discussions on air and across our social media platforms. Happy Black History Month to everyone.
Be alright.
Save lives. So keep drinking Awake Purified Drinking Water and let's continue making a difference. Awake Water, one for life. Supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
Come on, y'all ready? You're tuned in to the drive of your life on YFM.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I know. It's hard to keep up. Yeah, we ain't slowing down.
Still in the studio here with King Sak. We're talking about the albums, all his albums until now, with jams as well. Sak is saying that we have videos coming up for almost all the projects. I'm excited about that. We're in a very visual world. So sometimes I think if you drop a video, the song just starts doing well because you dropped the video. So it's good that we're getting that. Unfortunately, I do have to bring something up that I have no option than to do because it happened quite recently. I know that he had about 2 songs that I know of with AKA. I think Sunshine, that was his song, and then Special Someone with AKA and Burna Boy. I just want to understand how it felt to hear of AKA's passing and how your relationship was like with him.
Definitely one of the biggest shocks I've had in my life. Not that you know, it's not like you feel like somebody deserves to die and somebody doesn't, but you know that feeling where that's like the last thing you want to think about, with such a person. It was shocking because I was outside. I was on a date with my daughter. I think I posted that already. Then I saw it on Twitter that it was trending, and I couldn't tweet at that moment. I just literally had to drive back home and try to soak it in and just be sure that if it could be a bit official so you can know that this is true. But it was definitely a big shock, and I know exactly how people feel, because if you know AKA, you wouldn't think that that can
Yeah, just happened like that.
Exactly. So yeah, definitely a big shock. But again, this is life. There's nothing we can do about it. We just send our prayers to the family and those really close to him who are actually going through a lot at this point, and then we just hope that God grants them the strength. And I can relate more because he has a little girl, a daughter. So as soon as you see that you put yourself in that position, it's like when I heard my brother Davido. It's the same thing. You know, if you're not in that situation, yes, it's gonna hurt. But if you actually have a child, you feel different. So the first thing I thought about is my friend, and then the next thing is the fact that the daughter is still here, and then I know how their bond is and how you're going to be able to even explain that to the child. It's going to be a tough one on the industry, but may you so rest in peace.
I don't want us to dwell too much on that. However, I do have a very big interest in your mindset, because to be in the game for about 10 years plus, to have news like this, like the videos on as well and other issues, how do you always try to stay positive? Because I feel like there's certain things that happen, especially when it comes around the same time, there's stuff that we don't know. So with someone like you, how do you keep focused on the prize? Or do you have like your down times where you just, okay, let me zone out, let me stay away from everything for a while, take a break and come back?
I think if it's anything's going to get to me, it has to do with more of myself and not what is going on in the outside world. Because I have kind of like been in this industry for a minute to know that most of these things are not real. Reality is the fact that you have a family, you have your child, that is real. If I'm there with TT or MJ, we're in the house talking when I sit with my mom, you are home, that's reality. You have your team. That is what is real. Anything that's going on Twitter and people talking about news and this and all those things I don't think that's real. So that side I don't have a problem with getting to my mind and trying to figure it out. Or I heard the news on YFM and that's giving me a bad day. I have to be honest, it's been very long since I felt like some news is making me feel like, cause
change your mood just because
it's not real. So it has to be something that I want to do personally for myself. But then I also understand life to a point that you really can't change much. You just have to embrace and keep it going. And the main reason why I did music is because I love it. And if I try not to lose that, anything else is just a plus. If you have money or you buy a car, those are like the icing on the cake.
Icing on the cake, it's bonus.
Exactly. But the main thing is you being able to love music and just do it for what it's worth. And anything else is going to be a plus. I don't really have so much downtimes. My sister sent me the same voice notes. The question you asked me, she asked if I've ever been sad because she's never seen me like that before. My wife says the same thing. Like, am I not human to feel anything? But I'm like, if you understand life and even get to know the fact that not everybody even enjoys the music, and it's not a bad thing. People find fault with that and go like, why don't you like? Why are you pissed? It's your ego speaking. Because it's not everybody who has to love. Somebody hates my voice, and it's not because they hate you. Literally don't like your voice. It doesn't sound good to them. Your song is not that dope to them. But so if you have a problem with that, that's your ego speaking. It's not the person's fault. We have hate, that's different. And even that, you don't care because I'm catering to the people that care about the music. So those things will never really be a problem for me. But if there's going to be anything, I think it has to be personal. I've not got into this level of, the impact is being had on like the AKA situation or David. But I can imagine that definitely is going to like put you at a pause. That's real life. So
I like that. Now I saw something that really got me excited, the BBC orchestra performance. Tell me about that. How did that happen? Is one beautiful thing. I don't know if it's a thing of we not expecting these things to happen, so once in a while when it pops up it's like, oh wow, this happened. There's been a lot of emails that we get on a daily basis on stuff that people want us to do if we're interested. Some stuff is cool. It's not that challenging, and so certain things can skip. But we have situations where I'm like, this is dope. So when my business manager in the UK told me that this is an opportunity on the table, I was like, of course. We're not even going to think twice about it. This is the BBC, one of the biggest platforms in the world, having an orchestra, to play your music, and not just one. You are allowed to play like three songs. So that was a good opportunity for me to showcase my music. So yes, it came, and then we took the opportunity. Do you ever feel like, they always say that Ghana is like the gateway to Africa. Do you feel like you're the gateway to the gateway?
I've not thought about that,
No, because for a lot of people, when it comes to they easing into, let's say, African music, the first time they would listen to Ghanaian music is probably your song.
You think it's always?
I mean, I think more often than not. Okay. Yeah, more often.
I haven't thought about that.
You haven't thought about that. Yeah, because to me, then it's like, okay, if they're listening to Sark first, then they're thinking, oh, this is how Ghanaian guys are.
Okay.
Based on how you sound and everything.
But you never really sets like the template for what you expect. The template for
whichever artist, whatever the vibe in here is.
I haven't thought about that.
That's good. That's something you should probably think about. But let's talk about Stir It Up. It's been stirring up some kind of conversations. I'm not going to get into that, but I do want to know how you feel concerning the fact that you can have something this positive and have so much negative buzz around it.
Definitely, I would say my biggest highlights as far as my music journey is concerned. I know there's a lot that will happen. So Big OJ, my director, showed me a video 2 nights ago. I think that was his birthday, and then he had done a little documentary because he videos me a lot. He used to follow me around when I was not coming up, but then a bit earlier on.
There. Yes.
So he kind of like put together some videos and showed it to me, and that really got to me because I was saying stuff that is happening now. Because at that time you would have thought that was my highest level, but then I was talking about bigger things that's about to happen. I didn't have an idea what I was talking about, but I just felt it. So to me, this is definitely the biggest highlight for me. Because it's not even something you would dream of.
I think so too. I think this is like the biggest thing.
It doesn't get bigger than that. Because listen, to dream of anything, this will be out of your dreams. It's not because you're limiting yourself. It's not even possible. So what do you think? What are you doing that the family of Bob Marley will say you have the opportunity to come and lay your vocals next to the legend? So definitely a good time for Ghana, myself. For the feedback, I think I was kind of I know that's how it's going to be. It's all faces, It's going to be the shock factor, which I don't blame the people for being shocked, because even me that I was chosen, I was shocked. So I will not be surprised when the people are shocked and they're trying to find if this is real. That's the same thing I did. Even me that they were trying to contact, I was trying to find out if this is real. So those faces we have been through already. They criticized the music, or we thought it could have been better. Everything. When I dropped Labadi, it was the same thing. Like, we need this and that, and now they love the music. So I think it's the height of where I've been, the weight of who I am, brings this reaction. And I love it. At first, I had an issue with it because I'm like, why do you always have to have this type of energy? But it's because of who you are. And if you didn't have that, then that means you actually lost it. So if you don't have that reaction, people intense about it, whether they like it or not, being intense about it is very, very important. So you don't want to lose that. So I enjoyed it. It was I think it was like 3 phases: the shock, criticizing it, and now appreciating the moment. So they're just going to breathe a little bit. And then I think now the energy is more about them appreciating it. You just have to wait the wave of the distraction in the beginning. But I think so far it's been accepted good. It's doing great numbers on YouTube and all the other platforms, and the family is happy, so it's good.
Me, I love it. We've been playing it. I think it's a vibe. I mean, even aside the negative buzz, which I think is actually very small, because it's just a lot of, like, very few people making a lot of noise.
Because negativity stands out.
But then the majority of the people out there are enjoying it, and I think that's the whole point of it.
Yes.
But I was also, I think I watched one interview where you said it happened in 2020. Like the collaboration itself happened a while back.
Yes, like 3 years ago.
3 years ago, and you had to wait. How difficult was it to keep it to yourself?
It wasn't, because that's how I am as a person, You never knew that Baby and
Mary is the
same song. And then even I'll Be There on No Pressure. It's like 11 years old.
Wow. Wait.
with emoji.
Yeah.
That's like 11 years old, So, and I've had that song for like a very long time. So that side is not an issue with me. My team will tell you, Angel doesn't have certain songs that's like about to be released. Even him doesn't have it to himself to enjoy it. That's how I roll. So I'll keep the music, keep it under the wraps. Shooting the video was the bit challenging part because it was hard not to give it away, but we had tight security around, and we were smart about it. I think I've said it, but when you see the latter part when we were having a party, it was we with these guys just playing Bob Marley's music and everybody's jamming, so they don't know.
I'm sure we were very confused.
Exactly. Why is Sarkodie here singing reggae songs? So and I wasn't rapping. So but we were smart about it, and I think it's really worth the wait. You don't want to let people into the process so they can actually appreciate it.
Awesome. Now we are going to talk about. I feel like I have so many questions that we need 2 hours for this, but we are getting to that point where we're running out of time, so we have to go straight to the point. Jam's World Tour.
Yes,
it's coming up. I've been waiting for the longest time because I felt like Sarkodie perform as much as I want to see him, especially outside. And even I realize you're very picky with the shows you do even here in Ghana. So what informed the decision to go back on the road this time?
So what has been my biggest challenge now is if I'm being called to any stage and I don't have my full band with me to give you the experience. You see, when you're rapaholic, that energy, that is how global citizen, that is how I want the shows, and that is not easy. That comes with a lot of cost,
right?
So that's why I'm kind of picky with the shows until I can really deliver how I want to deliver the art. Because if it's just me coming to play the music and rap and take money, I will do it, but I will not be. It's not motivating to move. And this time, I told promoters, and then they agreed that they're going to accommodate that, so I can bring that level of performance to these places. So it's not really going to be like a lot of places, but I'll be almost everywhere. And we announced the first leg, I think, few days from today, and then we'll add on the rest.
So what can you tell us? Which places are you going?
Places I want to go.
You want to?
So I want to go to Australia.
Okay.
Definitely London, Germany, Paris, Amsterdam, Sweden, the States. I do a couple states there. Yeah, and places that maybe I'm not thinking about, somewhere in Asia or somewhere.
So do you have like a time frame in which you want to do this tour?
Yeah, so everything is definitely going to happen around. I think we are starting. Some is going to start, and then we'll pull back. So the first one is me and composers doing 2 days, 5th and 6th of March, London.
Okay.
Then I think I'm doing Cologne. You guys are trying to get everything out. I haven't announced that yet. But
it's YFM.
So all I think 3 shows at that time, and then we'll pull back, and then everything kicks off again on May, June, July.
Okay, that's like summer.
Yes.
Time. Okay. So we have London.
Yes.
Cologne.
But then I think there's 2 more, but I need to be sure.
Yeah, you need to be sure.
Yeah.
So you can't tell us.
No.
Not even the summer
Cologne you are not supposed to hear.
That's what's up. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it that you're taking everything on the road. With the band and the experience and everything. I love that you're doing that. And I mean, before we wrap up, you did a writing camp. With a couple of artists that are coming up. Now, my question before that would have been, do you have an eye on the underground scene? But the fact that when you did that, I was like, okay, he definitely knows who is who and who is doing what. What would you say were the best results of doing that the writing camp?
If you put a lot of talents on a record, you can never go wrong, because this is different feels and different ideas on one production. And that's what happened at the writing camp. We have like amazing music that I will definitely drop some of them. I'm doing the writing camp this year too, but this year it's a bit bigger, because I'm trying to bring people all the way from other parts of Africa. So Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, bring all of them to Ghana.
Right.
They will mingle with the Ghanaian artists as well.
Okay.
So this year is going to be big. But we have some amazing music from the last one, which I know the artists are already on my neck.
I know some of them, they're like, I'm so excited, like my verse. Like this.
And then some amazing artists. I think one of the artists is being signed by Lynx right now, right?
Yeah, Boy Jake.
Yes.
Yeah, he was the one. He's the one I'm talking about. He was like, yo,
no, his verse, amazing.
Right.
Amazing. So yeah. The underground scene, I don't know if I'm really tuned, because I don't know where to go to find it. But if there's a video that pops up of somebody who's good, I'm definitely gonna chance on it. But so far, I haven't really seen what's happening out there. But hopefully, the writing camp will let me meet some new artists as well. Yes,
that's awesome. Sak, before you go, I need you to tell us a story you've never told anybody on radio before.
Not even your wife.
A story.
Yeah, something about your life, something that nobody knows. Or at least maybe people know, but you haven't said it in a public
can you give me
domain
1
before.
week to think about it?
If you wait here, it's about 1 week, then cool.
Nah, but I think I've shared a lot of my stories, you know.
Especially with the come up, with stuff that you went through.
I think all of that I've said almost everything into detail. Yeah. I've given a lot.
I think I have to find a way to open you up with these things. Right now, when it comes to dealing with, let's say, other artists, picking who to work with, when you have deals, like for instance the Bob Marley thing that I had to keep under wraps, what of some of those interactions have you not put out that, let's say, now you can freely talk about?
I don't think there's really anything that interesting. Yeah.
Maybe you go interest me. We then Sack Nation.
It's just, you know, just regular work stuff. But I don't think there's anything that is like, you know. Yeah.
Okay, then I would want you to just give a message out to everybody listening to us as a month of love. We started with your love story. So
Yes.
what would you tell people out there?
I'll say love is the strongest emotion that every human can possess, and make sure that leads everything that you do. That makes you treat yourself well, makes you treat whoever is next to you well. Let that lead, and I think that can actually control your path to a very positive, you know, light. And I know tomorrow is like Vows Day, but Vows Day is supposed to be like every day. You know, treat people like it's Vows Day every day. And but people who are now about to start from tomorrow, and make sure you do something special for whoever is special to you, whether it being your mom, your wife, your girl, whatever. just do something.
And what of
Nice.
the ladies to the guys? Because every time, just like you just did, we always do something for them.
Them too, they're for Roger, but
Yeah,
you know,
for Roger.
they're
Real
for
quick.
Roger. But the thing is, I'm just speaking from, I think, just the man's perspective.
Yeah.
You know, I think
Because that's what you know.
naturally we want
Yeah.
to be the ones to do it. Me and you know that there is no way we are not jumping up and down because my wife bought me flowers. That's that. If I'm in town and somebody brings me flowers and say my wife brought it to me, yeah, it's cool. But I don't think any man is actually jumping and saying my wife bought me flowers.
But it is interesting though. It is interesting. Like, not that you won't jump, but you're like, oh really?
As a man, what do you think makes you happy when your girl does that for you?
I think when a woman is understanding and supportive.
You see, so that's it.
Yeah, so it's not the
Exactly.
It's not a
It has
gift.
nothing to do with that, you know. So we take that part, which is not a problem because we enjoy doing that. So I think for the men, they're making no try, use your mind, talk, say, oh, hey, I buy, so you for buy. No.
buy. Yeah, we for just
do the
your-
buying. Yes, you have to do the buying. Yeah, so yeah.
Charlie.
Big shouts to all Sack Nation. I love you guys. You know, thank you guys for the support, and let's keep streaming jams and then stir it up. The rework of Bob Marley's classic, and thank you, Ghana, for all the support. I really do appreciate it.
And that's what's up. Thank you so much. And big shout out to Exhibit the Barber. He told me that if I don't mention his name, he go fi kill me.
Big shouts,
I'm a
big
very
shouts.
big fan.
Definitely.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Ken Sack. And I hope we have a part 2 of this soon. In the meantime, definitely we got to play Stir It Up from the top for the people out there. And still, YFM, baby.
Nobody does it like this. Y107.9 FM.
It's the Ghana Beverage